All right, Joe.
Excuse me. Can I
Yes,
ask
ma'am.
a question?
Sure.
Is it any way that we could say a prayer before this meeting gets started?
Ma'am, go ahead. Why don't you say a few words for us? Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Lord, for another day. Thank you, Lord, for all that you are calling us to do. In the name of Jesus, help us all to accomplish in this meeting what we all need to accomplish. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Is that Ms. Dixon, who I heard? Is that? Okay. Joe, why don't you go ahead and kick us off then?
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Really appreciate you guys ladies and gentlemen, taking the time out today to sit through the Kenilworth presentation. Again, this is a start of a round of meetings that we will have to make sure, in light of what we're trying to do in the future.
Carolyn Washington
Good afternoon.
Has joined the meeting.
Just want to introduce a few key people from the Housing Authority standpoint who will be involved now and then as we proceed. Andre Gould, Donnae Green, and Mr. Roundtree. That will be the group of leaders that you can count on as from the Housing Authority standpoint, that you can count on as we get ready to move forward with this endeavor and then actually get ready to finish out the project once this is started. At this moment, I want to say thank you again to Stephanie Farrell, who's sharing with the group, and also want to turn it over to her.
Ms. Forge has joined the meeting.
What we have planned for Kenilworth Courts. Thank you.
Stephanie, we can't hear you right now. I have you unmuted on both, but are you speaking yet? Stephanie, can you hear us?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, sorry about that.
No worries, thank you.
I am on two devices. So my name is Stephanie Farrell. I'm an architect with Tortigalis Urban, who's the architects on this project, and we're very pleased to present the project to you today. And as Joe mentioned, this is our team who's been working together to move this project forward. So to look at the site, this is the phase 1 of the Kenilworth Courts redevelopment. You may have seen this plan before, but I'll reorient you. So Kenilworth is the street that you see going up in an angle on the right side of the plan. And then this phase 1 site is bounded by Coral Street to the north, 45th Street to the west, and then it includes the new extension of Pond Street through the site to Kenilworth Avenue. And the program consists of a multifamily building that's 65 units, a senior housing building that's 42 units, and townhomes that are 44 units, and stacked flats, which are basically just a small 3-unit building of 15 units. The senior housing is located here at the north end of the site, and the multifamily is located here, the L-shaped building. These buildings both front along Kenilworth Avenue, and there's a plaza space, exterior plaza space for gathering at the sort of the gateway, the entrance into the site at the new Pond Street extension. So these are the two multifamily buildings. And then as you move farther into the site, it becomes a mix of the townhouse strings, which are what you see here, and these small 3-unit stacked flat buildings. And there's also a new street that extends from Pond Street over to Corals. And as you can see, the site is, heavily landscaped and a lot of green area amongst the site. All the parking is located behind the buildings in these new alleys behind the buildings, screened from the street. This is a perspective view of the two multifamily buildings if you were standing on Kenilworth. So this is the multifamily and the senior here, and you can see that plaza space that I mentioned at that intersection where the new Pond Street will come through and connect to Kenilworth. And these buildings have, you know, a lot of glass. They're very light and open and airy. They have amenity spaces on the ground floor, which we'll see, and the multifamily building also has a commercial space associated with it. And this is a perspective view on 45th Street of that townhouse area of the plan, where you see, you know, the typical townhouse street. The townhouses are animated with things like the porches, the bays, dormers, to really create sort of an active and inviting street environment. So again, going a little deeper into the program. So the multifamily building is 65 units, a mix of 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, and there's also a 4 and 5 bedroom unit in that building. The senior housing is 42 units and it's a mix of 1s and 2s. The multifamily amenities consist of a meeting room, fitness room, the leasing office, resident lounges and bike storage, and as mentioned, there's a commercial space located in that building. The senior housing also has a meeting room, a fitness area, manager's office, resident lounge, and bike storage. And then the unit features, which we'll see when we get to the plans, you know, they all incorporate open living, dining, kitchen areas, in-unit washer, dryer, pantries, and linen closets. This is a plan of the multifamily building. So this is Kenilworth down here, and this is the new Pond Street. So the lobby is located here at the corner, and you have your amenity spaces such as the offices, the meeting room, and the fitness. And this is that commercial space that's available at the sort of the other corner along Kenilworth. And there are also 2 ground floor units in this building facing onto the new Pond Street. And as you can see, the parking located behind the building. So the typical units in this building, a 1 bedroom and a 2 bedroom. As you can see, as we mentioned, the living, dining, kitchens are very open, all open to each other, not separated into separate spaces. There's pantries and linens, generous amount of closet space, and washers and dryers in the units. Similar for the 2 bedroom, large open area, and you know, the closet space associated with it. So as mentioned, this building also has a 4 bedroom unit. It's located on the ground floor, and it has, you know, a very large separate kitchen, dining, and living area. And this unit, because it's on the ground floor, also has an exterior patio area associated with it, with a door to the exterior. Similar for the 5 bedroom unit that's located in the multifamily building. It has, you know, a very generous living space, the patio, and then the 5 bedroom units, and the in-unit washer, dryer, the pantry, the linen, as mentioned. The senior housing building, so this is on Kenilworth down here, and this is that new Pond Street. And again, the lobby is located here right off that plaza area, and you have more ground level units with several of which have exterior patio areas as well. And the parking is located behind the building. So the senior housing units are similar. It's a 1 bedroom and a 2 bedroom. They have the same features, the in-unit washer, dryer, the linen, the pantry, and the open living, dining, kitchen. This is a 2 bedroom in this unit that actually has the living, dining, and kitchen located at the corner of the unit. Now moving on to the townhouses and stacked flats that were in the rest of that site plan. The townhomes are a mix of 2, 3, 4, and 5 bedroom townhomes for a total of 44. The stacked flats, which are these sort of 3 unit buildings, which we'll show you, are a mix of 2 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms, and there's 15 of those. So the features of these units is that they all have private entrances to each unit. The townhouses also all have a rear yard or deck. And again, they have similar, open concept design and the washer, dryer, pantries, and linens. So this is an example of that stacked flat building. So there's a ground floor unit here that's a 3 bedroom that has an entrance directly from the outside into this living, dining, and kitchen area. And then the 3 bedrooms all on one level. This is on the ground level of that building. When you move up, if you were to enter one of these 2 private entrances from the front and go up these stairs, you would be in a 2 bedroom unit that's located above. That's sort of a townhouse style unit that's located on the 2nd and 3rd floors of these buildings. So you come up and you're in a living, dining, kitchen area with a powder room, and then you go up to another level, again, sort of a townhouse type unit, a 2-story unit. You go up another level and you have your 2 bedrooms located on the 2nd floor. That's the stacked flat buildings. Moving to the townhouses, this is an example of a 4-bedroom townhouse. So it's 3 stories. Again, the ground floor unit has your living, dining, and kitchen and your powder room. The 2nd floor has 2 bedrooms and a bath. And then the 3rd floor has another 2 bedrooms and bathroom. This is an example of the 5-bedroom unit. So again, you have your living, dining, and kitchen all located on the ground floor with a powder room. In this case, there's 3 bedrooms on the 2nd floor and then an additional 2 bedrooms on the top floor. And that concludes our presentation, but we're happy to answer any additional questions that people might have.
Thank you, Stephanie. Joe, did you want to introduce some of the other team members as well who are here from the development team so everybody knows who's taking part?
No problem. Stephanie, do we have anybody else from your group that's on? I'll run down.
Hold on, sorry, I'm having a little hard time hearing you. Hold on.
I'll run down the remaining Housing Authority personnel again. Again, my name is Joseph Chase Jr. I'll be the project manager for this project. The property manager will be Donna Green. Your community navigator is Dorothy Roundtree. Again, Stephanie Farrell is from Torty Gallus. Now, do you have any your team, Stephanie, who you would like to introduce? If not, we can move on to the Michaels group. I believe Chris Early is on. You'd like to introduce your team.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Christopher Early with Michaels Development Company. We're, as Joe stated, part of the development team here working to bring this development to fruition in partnership with the Warrington Group. So my colleagues with the Warrington Group, I believe I see Dwayne Oates on, and I believe I see Kobe Williams on as well. Dwayne, you want to introduce yourself? Dwayne may be on mute. Kobe, did you want to introduce yourself as well?
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody. This is Colby Williams from the Warrington Group, serving as VP of Development here, working in tandem with both Michaels, Torty Gallus, and DC Housing Authority. So happy to be here and hoping to bring this into fruition very soon. So thanks for allowing me to be here.
And good afternoon, everybody. My name is Dwayne Oates. I'm pretty much running the construction here at Kenilworth at this current moment, sitting with Mr. Carl Smith in his office.
And I guess, Chris, did you want to give, before we move into question and answers, did you want to give everybody an update as to where we are in the process?
Sure, Andre, I can do that. So we're currently updating the overall project budget in order to move forward in the financing process. We actually were able to begin the demolition of the vacant buildings approximately 2 months ago, and that process is well underway. As a part of that process as well, we're finalizing the documentation for the general contracting team, all of which will put us in position to be able to start site work early next year, start additional site work and infrastructure early next year, in addition to vertical construction. So we're making great progress, and wanted to bring updates to everyone today as we're presented by Stephanie from Tortigalis, such that folks can ask questions if they have any questions. So Andre, I'll hand it back to you.
That's the shea butter, man.
All right. So really quickly before Andre takes over with my colleague LaShawn is going to help moderate a lot of the questions and answers. We're going to still ask folks to stay on mute while we're doing this process so that we can hear as many people as I hold on, I'm trying to mute a few folks right now, actually. I mentioned when we got started, the meeting is being recorded. We traditionally obviously would have been holding this meeting as an in-person meeting, but because of where we are, the public health emergency, we are still conducting these meetings virtually. It's an imperfect substitute for what we would have preferred to be able to see you, but in order to keep you all safe and in order to keep the team safe, we want to make sure that we're doing this. We're going to ask these questions. We're also going to be keeping notes on the questions, so we'll transcribe the responses. We'll upload those Q&As and put them on the project website as well. The meeting recording will go up there, and then any of the other inquiries that come up we will make sure that we track back and help answer some of those as well. So give me 1 second while I make my colleague LaShawn one of the hosts here. And we appreciate your patience. Okay, LaShawn, can you see that? I made you co-host.
No, it's not reflecting yet.
All right, how about now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. All right, is that working for you? And I know that there's one question already in the chat from Ms. Raspberry asking about the bathroom counts in these units. Are they all 2 baths or more, or does Stephanie, do you want to help answer that question about the bathroom counts within the units that's presented?
Correct. The 1 bedrooms are a single bath, but the 2 bedroom and up all have 2 baths.
Hello.
Yes, who do we have speaking?
Corita Murray.
Go ahead, Ms. Murray.
I have a question about your 3 bedrooms. Do you have everything on 1 floor or you have 2 floors?
So there are actually 2 types of 3 bedrooms. So there is I don't have an example of the 3 bedroom townhouse here, but there is a 3 bedroom townhouse in which the bedrooms are on different floors, but there is also the 3 bedroom that's in the small stacked flat buildings, which is a flat. It's all on 1 floor and it is an accessible unit.
Okay, thank you.
Hello?
Hi, yes, do you have a question?
Yes. I had a question about the timeline. I understand that we were awaiting, the people who still live here now are waiting for those units to be completely completed, and then we are to move from here to there, and then they are to start working on these units. Is that still the plan? I haven't heard anything different.
I'll take that one. We still plan on this being an overall phase project, and we're currently working on phase one. Phase one units have been demolished. Those residents have been relocated. Once we start construction of phase one and it's completed, those residents that were moved off would have the first priority to those units. Overall, there are going to be 118 replacement units in the first phase. So it's more than enough units to accommodate returning residents as well as residents that are currently on site. And we'll work our way through the priority order in offering residents those units.
I appreciate that information, but I don't think you understand what I'm trying to say. I live here in 4528 Quall Street. I've been over here for about 10 years. And for about 6 or 7 years, I've been hearing all kinds of different timelines and all kinds of different promises and all kinds of things. So my thing is, I don't know how much to invest. How long are we planning on still being here? In case my daughter wanted to change the color of her room, should I invest in, she grew out of the pink. So should I do the walls, or I need to replace the carpet in my son's room because of the perpetual leaky roof and the rain damage? I mean, I want to know how much longer we're going to be here, so I know how much to actually invest in my current unit.
And I wish there was a answer that I could give you, but
a guesstimate would do.
We have no plans for phase two or the timeline of when we're going to start phase two. The best sense would be if you fit into one of these new units that are going to be built. And if that's one of your choices where you want to actually move to one of the new units that are going to come available, that would be the first opportunity for you to relocate when those units come online.
Well, I was under the I had information that there are no new tenants are moving in, so that gave me the sense that, okay, maybe it's a sense of urgency along with, because these units that we live in now, I mean, there are a lot of vacancies, and there's nobody new moving in, so I'm thinking, the wrecking ball must be on its way. But
no,
I would love to have a real, just some type of window.
We're focused on the phase one right now. We haven't made any plans for additional phases. Our focus is to get phase one constructed.
Okay, so I continue to play it by ear, I guess.
Yes, and as we get more information, we'll continue to update you.
Okay, and when you talked about sizing people, I wanted to, real quick, I don't want to take up too much time, but when I moved here, I was, I had older children, they moved out, thank God. And now we got like extra room. So I know with all this, people, the mortgage thing about to go, the where you can't, eviction moratorium is about to expire. I don't know if I feel like I'm wasting a unit here, being in a 4-bedroom, and it's just me and my 2 little children. So I don't know if I could maybe qualify for a right sizing, to maybe help expedite my departure. I don't know who I would talk to about that. I guess that would be somebody else.
Yeah, we can have a conversation with you.
You want me to answer that? Okay,
yeah, go ahead.
Mr. Fields, if it was a situation where you were moving on to another unit, you would be put in a unit that is where you're supposed to be. So if that is something that was to happen, you would be sized correctly. So, we would definitely handle that and make sure you're in the correct size unit to accommodate your needs.
Thanks, Ms. Green.
No problem.
I have a question. This is Mr. Smith, Resident Council President. I wanted to know how many handicap parking spaces will be at the senior building and around in the area.
So I believe there are 2 handicap spaces behind the senior building immediately. But there are more handicap spaces also on farther up this row of parking off the alley as well.
Okay, thank you.
Hello?
Hi, yes, do you have a question?
Yes. Good afternoon. My name is Deborah Glenn. And I have two questions. Will the senior places be equipped with grab bars and stuff like that in the senior bathrooms? And what are the qualifications for, as far as what is the criteria for you for a person to come back and live in that building, live in the new building? What is the the qualifications for it? For if you left Kenilworth and you want to come back?
So I can answer the first question. So there will be units that are fully accessible to begin with that will already have all the grab bars and everything installed. However, every unit has the blocking and the provisions for grab bars to be added if a resident needs it or requests it.
Oh, okay. But you don't know the qualifications for, because they had told us one time you had to meet certain qualifications in order to come back, if you wanted to come back to Kenilworth after they, finished phase 1, 2, I guess, and 3.
So I'll answer that question. To keep it simple, as long as you're lease compliant and you're still public housing or voucher resident, a voucher recipient, you're being tracked as a resident and site. So when new units are coming online, we can offer you those replacement units based on the priority that was set up by the residents. There was a resident relocation plan that was put together with the residents where they put priorities for how we'll be offering units as they come online to residents. And we'll work with everyone as that process starts.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you very much.
And Andre, it looks like there's a question for you in the chat. Do you want me to go ahead and read that, or do you see it?
That's actually a good question. There were quite a few residents from Kenilworth that moved to metro towns. Those residents are captured as residents that have a right to return as well. Again, like the previous resident, we would have to go through the priority as far as how we would offer new units to residents as they come online.
Okay, thank you. And for those that are listening by phone and not able to see the chat, the question was just, can you clarify the unit sizes have to match what's being built in order for people currently off site to come back in phase 1? So thank you for.
Yeah, this is Taylor, the attorney for the resident council. That was my more just like a clarifying statement. The way that I had heard Andre explain it was like there would be this 118 replacement units, and they would, so folks who moved off could come back, and then there would be these extra units. I just wanted for Andre to clarify that, if there are 15 people who need 5 bedrooms who have been moved out, there won't be 15 fives in the first phase. There's only going to be, limited numbers of each unit type. So I just wanted that clarification so folks know that not everybody comes back in phase 1. I think that should just be clear.
Thank you, Taylor. And if you want, Stephanie, we could go back over what the units are going to be in the first phase that are going to be available, the unit size.
Yeah, the mix.
That's correct.
Right. So in the multifamily, there is 36 ones, 27 twos, a 4, and a 5. in the senior housing, there are 39 ones and 3 twos. And then moving to the townhouses and stacked flats program. So the townhouses, there are 6 twos, 26 threes, 8 4 bedrooms, and 4 5 bedrooms. And the stacked flats have 13 twos and 2 threes.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Yes, did you have a question?
Yes, I have a question. With your 3-bedroom townhouses, where do you park at? Do you have a parking space that you can park your car?
Yes. So all of the townhouses have a private entrance, a street side entrance from the street, and they also all have a rear entrance that takes you to the rear yard and then to the parking that's located on the alley behind the building.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
And thank you for your question. We also want to just make sure we give folks that are on the line the opportunity to ask questions that are not looking at the presentation through the mobile app, those that are calling from either mobile phones or landlines. So we just want to remind you all, the way to unmute your line is *6. So really quickly, we'll go through the callers here that have not been identified, just to make sure that folks are able to ask their respective questions, if at all. So I have a 202 number with the last 2 digits ending in 10. If you want to *6 and unmute and ask a question, you're able to do so now. Okay, I also have a 202, last 2 digits ending in 89. If you want to unmute, press press *6 and unmute yourself. Okay, 202 with last 2 digits 71. If you want to unmute, you can *6 and do so now. Right, caller ending in 09 with the 202 area code. You can *6 and unmute. Area code 202, last 2 digits ending in 99. If you have a question, you can unmute. Again, area code 202, last 2 digits 01. You can press *6 to unmute.
Yes, my name is Mervin. Hello?
Yes, I hear Marvin.
Mervin.
Mervin, thank you. You have a question?
Yes, the senior buildings, are they affordable? Did you hear my question?
Yes, we have your question. Do we have, Andre,
Yeah.
do you want to say that?
Yeah, the entire project is a affordable project. There's no market rate component. So out of the replacement units, the balance will be tax credit affordable units. So it's an entirely affordable project.
Okay, another question. I was raised up in Kenilworth for about 40 years. Right, I no longer live there, but I'm still a DC resident, right? What is my criteria of coming back?
So you're currently not a public housing resident or a voucher recipient?
Well, I'm on the list for a voucher.
Okay. So you could come back into one of the tax credit units, and it would be based on your income.
Okay, so how do I put in for a senior housing?
Hey, Andre, I can take a stab at building on your answer. This is Chris Early. Sir, what I can tell you is that once construction starts, we'll be in, the team on this meeting will be in consistent contact with the resident council membership and leadership to give updates, project updates. And as part of that process, we will let folks know when we're going to start accepting, the collective, we will start accepting lease up applications for those tax credit units that Andre alluded to. So we're a little ways off from that, but I would say continue to participate on these meetings that we plan to have on a standardized basis. We'll likely have them quarterly going forward. And so that way we can make sure, sir, you have the latest and greatest information as far as timing on when lease up will begin in the future.
Could y'all have a destination where you put in the application at?
Yeah, what we'll have is, as construction commences, there'll be likely be a trailer on the site that will be in place for folks to come in and fill out documentation. And again, we will make sure that information is spread through the community, through to folks on this meeting, through housing authority team members, et cetera, so that everybody has the same latest and greatest information.
Thank you.
Hello.
Yes, you have a question?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, I had a question as far as the townhouses. Are you going to be renting so many and selling so many?
Is there a staff member that can take that?
This is a completely rental project in this first phase. There is plans for potential home ownership in the last phase, but until we get to that point, we can speak on it more. But right now, the first phase that'll be available soon will be all rental units.
Okay. So do you know approximately when would they, actually start building? Since the demolition already started, do you know when the project is to be completed?
Our goal is to get started before the summer.
Okay.
Good afternoon. I have a question. I got disconnected.
Sure, we can hear you.
Okay, my question is for the people that was in phase one that got a voucher to relocate, and you decide that you want to take this new apartment or townhouse, do you have to give up your voucher? Because this is like public house.
That's a good question. I'm glad you asked. You would have to relinquish your voucher to come back to these units.
Yes.
Yes, you would. So that's a very good question.
Relinquish this unit to get a voucher.
Okay.
Relinquish your voucher to rent the unit. Yes, because you would be coming back into public housing.
Okay, that's what I wanted to ask because I was a little confused. And I have one more question. I know when I was told we had to leave with the new development, like I think somebody was talking about the qualifications. Even though you're in public housing, you're saying that as long as you're a leaseholder and you're paying rent, I'm sure that this property is going to end up want to do a credit check. I could be wrong. I could be right. I'm not sure. Is that part of the qualifications, a credit check? Because I know they do the background check and everything else, but is credit a part of this too? Can you be honest with me? Because I rather, I want to know the truth.
That's a good question.
That's a good question. Can I answer that one?
Yeah.
I'll let you know. As your housing manager, one of the things that I've been talking to you all about is, making sure that if you are interested in moving off of the property, staying on the property, whatever your circumstances, making sure that you are aware of your credit standing, making sure that, you're starting now to try and get your credit together so that if there is a credit check, if that's something that is deemed that you're in a position to. I've been trying to have conversations with you all to get you guys on that wavelength now, because by the time they get to you all, you'll already be ahead of the game.
Right, I understand. Okay, I see what you're saying.
So,
That was told to everyone. I was just asking because even though it's under public housing, I didn't know what the new, criteria would be far as this new development, because I know even with a voucher holder, it's not that easy moving out here with different new units, because a lot of people, even though you got a voucher, they guarantee your rent will be paid for, but a lot of people are doing credit checks. That's why I was asking that, is that part of public housing? But I understand what you explaining. Thank you so
And you will
much for
be
the answer.
and you would be held to the same criteria that public housing it holds you under. So
Okay.
we're not trying to screen you any more stricter than what public housing currently rules apply.
Okay. Well, sir, I appreciate the question. Let me ask one more question, and I should be done after this. So the people that do decide that they do want to move forward with the new development, you said that someone would contact all the people that was removed from phase 1 that was on Kenilworth Avenue, like they will contact you when it's time to come do an application if you're interested in it. And I'm sure they will assign you to like a worker, someone that's going to can work with you with this assignment.
Yeah, that's correct. We're continuing to track those folks that have been relocated so that they can receive communication as we move through this redevelopment process. So when they're ready to come back, that they have an opportunity.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you everyone for answering my question. You all have a blessed day.
Andre, I feel like sorry, again, this is Taylor from Bread for the City, the lawyer for the resident council. So I feel like that answer around credit checks was a little confusing. The resident council has fought for a long time to make sure that credit checks, that basically residents of public housing will not be held to a higher standard than what's to get into public housing. And so, Andre, I feel like your answer was, we're not trying to screen people out. We want to, we're just using the public housing screening criteria. And then I think Ms. Green's answer was, well, you need to prepare and get your credit ready. So I just was confused about what the answer was. I mean, we know the zoning order says it can't be more stringent than public housing. So
let me clear myself. I apologize. Andre is absolutely correct. As far as public housing, we will not be screening more than what we currently do. I was just making a statement that I've already been talking to the residents about their credit, only because, if there are different opportunities that are available, like the young lady said, if she was making a decision to go to a voucher or something like that, I was just talking to my residents about their credit. And if this was something that they looked into later, that might be something they want to work on, just to have just to be ahead of it. I wasn't saying that we would check any credit.
I have a question. The lady named Jenny for Bread for the City, are you available to take phone calls? Hello?
Yes, we can hear your question. Is there a representative from Bread in the City on the line?
Oh, she said she's trying to.
Sorry, I was trying to unmute myself. My computer froze for a second. Yeah, this is Taylor from Bread for the City. And I'm a lawyer from Bread for the City. If you have an individual issue, I could certainly give you a call. You just want to give me your name and phone number.
It's Latonya Horge, and it's 202-440-7389.
I have a question.
Did you get
Yes,
that?
go ahead.
Oh, yes, I did get that. I can give you a
Okay.
call, sure.
Thank you, Taylor.
Not a problem.
I have a question.
Yes.
I came in a little late on the call, but did anybody say anything about whether we'll get vouchers?
I'm sorry, Latoya, can you repeat your question, please?
Was there any discussion about the residents getting vouchers? I came in late on the call, so it may have been already asked.
I'll respond to that question. The residents that were moved from phase one received, those that wanted vouchers and could qualify for a voucher received vouchers to move off site. And at this time, we don't have additional vouchers to move additional residents because we haven't moved on to the next phase. Till we
Okay.
get to that phase, there will not be any additional vouchers to relocate with.
Okay. I live on the Anacostia Avenue side, and from the last I've heard, they're supposed to be the last side that gets renovated. Do you know a timeline on when that will be? The next 5 years or so? Or?
I wish I could give you a better answer, but at this point, we're just focused on phase one. And as we get more information, we'll update you as it comes.
Okay, no problem. Thank you.
Do you at least know if phase two going to start before phase one is completed? In your professional opinion?
With the way the budget is right now, I can't really speak on anything. If somebody dropped us $1 billion to do what we needed to with public housing, I could say we'd move forward. But at this point in time, we don't know when we'll get started on the next phase.
Is it normally,
Hello?
is it standard of practice? Is it normal for you to, since it's right here together, I'm sure they're going to share some of the same infrastructure, same plumbing. Would it be standard for them to start, doing this before that's completed? Just trying to get an idea.
It can be helpful to do infrastructure all at one time, but then that would require clearing the whole site. And I'm not sure everybody would be in favor of moving everybody off site while we do redevelopment. So far, I think it's helpful to build a phase while there's still residents in place, so that they have an opportunity to move to a newly built unit and not have to be displaced.
That helped a lot. Thank you.
Hello, I have a quick question.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, my name is Amanda Raspberry. I'm over here on Pond Street, currently resident. And I was wondering, I'm not sure if someone already answered the question. Sorry, 2 beds and the master and the main bathroom.
Miss Raspberry, you cut out.
Can you hear me now? I'm sorry. I'm driving.
It's
Can you hear
okay.
me?
Yeah, can you restart your question? Because I think you cut out a little bit.
Okay, sure. I'm over here at Ponds, currently at Ponds, and I was wondering if we already have 2 baths. And I was wondering if it'd be the same structure for the new townhomes, meaning the bathroom in the master room, as well as outside.
So all the units that are 2-bedroom and up do have 2 bathrooms. They're not necessarily a master if you mean like a direct connection from the bedroom to the bathroom.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I have a quick question.
Yes, we can hear you. Miss Lawrence, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Okay, we can hear you now.
Okay, my question is for the townhomes. Are the people randomly picked to get the townhomes, or is there an individual process that everyone will have to go through in order to get into a townhome, as opposed to one of the flats or the multi-units?
So the residents put together a priority, and when the new units come online, we'll go through that priority, starting with the residents that have been relocated off-site first to offer units. And as residents are being offered units, they'll choose where they want to come back to. So we'll be working our way through the priority. So we'll have another meeting as we move through the process to kind of start to talk through how the priorities are going to work, so that all the residents understand it.
Okay, and it's only going to be 44 townhomes, period, throughout the whole community?
In this first phase. There are more
Okay.
townhouses planned in latter phases.
Okay, thank you.
Hello?
Yes, you can. Do you have a question?
Yes. I would like to know, I'm in phase 2 on Pond Street. If the building of the construction is completed by then and they still haven't moved us out, will they move us to the new construction or move us somewhere else?
So as the new units come online, again, we'll work with those residents that have been relocated first from the first phase to offer them new units, and then we'll work through the priorities of for the other residents that are remaining on site to make them offers for those new replacement units.
And it's based on your credit. I mean, everything, not your credit, I'm sorry, but how everything is how can I put this? It's based on your record that in housing.
You're referring to the priority to get units?
Yeah. Is it based is anybody in phase 2 can be moved into the new places, or it's based on how you kept the place up, your rent, whatever?
I think what we'll do is we'll share as part of the Q&A that comes out what the resident priorities that have been selected. So as a part of this overall meeting, we're going to share the questions and answers. And in that QA packet, it'll list the priorities for moving into new units as they come online as well.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Demetria Lane, and I was wondering if there's not enough 3-bedroom. I mean, if the phase 1 all came back with a 3-bedroom, as far as how would you replace the phase 2 if there's not enough 3-bedrooms over there left?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand your question.
Okay, so say in phase 1, all the 3-bedrooms, because they have first options to come back, right? So if
okay,
if you're then moving the phase 2 into the phase 1 area, if there's not enough 3-bedrooms, what do you do? What do we do?
Oh, if you're saying if we're ready to start new construction in that phase 2 area.
No, if phase 1 is already going to be done, and you have and you're bringing the phase 1 people that move, they have options to come back, right?
Right.
So then phase 2 is people you want to offer. If you want to offer them a 3-bedroom on that side, we'll be relocating them over just so you can get ready for phase 2 to be done. if you don't have enough 3 bedrooms on that side of where phase 1 is, what do you do with those people that's left, residents that's left?
Well, if we're at the point where we're ready to start phase 2, and we would have other relocation options.
Okay.
So at that time, so whatever those relocations options are, we would work with each family to offer those other relocation options. Once we
okay.
get.
Okay, thank you.
And Andre, I think there is a question. I think you touched upon it, but I'm gonna go ahead and read it from the chat just so we can make sure we respond to all the questions here. But it says, do current residents that still live in Kenilworth who need to upgrade from a 2-bedroom to a 3-bedroom, will we have our names put on a list, or do we get first choice?
So as we work our way through the priority for those new units that come online, if you're
Okay. Thank you. And then there's another question in the chat from Mr. Ronell Fields. Will renters insurance be required or recommended for these new units?
but yeah.
Andre, you were going in and out during that response. I'm not sure if this is my network or if anybody else had an issue hearing you, but can you repeat that?
Yeah, we had the same trouble too.
Yeah, it was a little fuzzy in my ear too, but I think I got the gist of the question because I see it in the chat. So
okay.
It reads, will renters insurance be required, recommended for these brand new units? Echoing what I heard from Andre, I don't think there's ever a requirement, but it's good advice to get renters insurance. Now, I'm not sitting here on this meeting to say definitely do it. But again, I think those are the kinds of questions that we will be able to answer further down the road as we're having follow-ups with the group here. So it's something to keep in mind.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I had a question. Do you have to pay utilities? Water, gas, and electric for the new unit? Hello?
Yeah, so as far as utilities go, there is a requirement that folks have to pay utilities. The good thing is that we are going to incorporate solar, some solar capacity on the roof of the multifamily building such that there's going to be all electric in the units. So that'll be a good thing. That'll be a little bit more cost effective than the standard community. So that's where that stands at this point.
And sorry, Chris, this is Stephanie. I'll also add, this project will also meet Enterprise Green Communities, which is just the standard for green building, which means that the units will be better insulated. They'll have more efficient mechanical systems, appliances, because that's the newer requirement for a new construction versus maybe an older building.
Thanks, Stephanie. Spot on. Thank you.
Okay, do we have any more questions?
Yes, hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Hi, this is Tommy Christian. I was wondering, I'm on Douglas Street. So what phase is Douglas Street?
I'm sorry, what part of,
I can't hear you. I'm on, yes, over 45th and Douglas.
right. Currently that is, so,
I can't hear.
oh,
You're breaking up.
You're breaking up, Andre. We can't hear you.
I have to log in.
I think what he was saying was things could be changing for the current phase 3. So I guess once we get more information about where we stand, the actual phase 2 and phase 3 of this project, we should be able to enlighten everybody.
Okay. All right.
Okay, and I do see a question in the chat. Are the new units pet friendly? I'm sorry, Joe. Were you saying? I'm sorry, we can't hear you.
I'm sorry. I believe so, according to the policies that the ED presented to us a few years ago. But I think it all depends as well on the animal. I could be speaking out of turn. If I'm wrong, please correct me.
And Joe, that's one of the things we can. Andre alluded to FAQ, frequently asked questions. We can confirm that.
Yeah, we'll add that to the Q&A and then distribute it following this meeting.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Are there any additional questions? And if you are on a landline, you can unmute by pressing *6.
Yes, I have a question. If they have animals in these places, will it be mandatory for them to walk these animals on a leash and to boop a scoop? Oh, Lord.
We will clarify in the FAQ.
I hope so, but yeah, let's.
They sure don't do it around here. These animals just run loose and they all in your yard dropping stuff.
No question. Forgive me for chuckling so hard, but I have 3 dogs, so trust me, I'm always reminded that question is very much appreciated. We'll definitely follow up with you, make sure we get the best information possible.
Please do. I appreciate that. I'm not trying to step in nothing I ain't put out there.
Hey, how about that?
I have another question. It's in reference to street parking. Will it be regular street parking? You know, like when they have the events over here at the park, will they be able to just park? Because a lot of times parking becomes a real serious problem when there's an event over there.
I think I could take that. Actually, we are getting ready to bring that up to DDOT later this week, if not next week. So I believe I should be able to answer that at a later date. But that was one of the questions that was brought up to the team during our earlier meeting today. We all know the importance of parking, especially in the area.
Okie dokie, thank you.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. How often will the meetings be? Will they be like we get a meeting every month, every other week, or how would this go to keep us caught up with what's going on?
This is early. I can take that. At minimum, Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. At minimum, they'll be quarterly, so every 3 months. But if we need to increase that, we can do that. But currently, we're thinking there'd be quarterly sessions. Hopefully, God willing, it'd be great if we could be in person for the next one. If this vaccine comes, everybody is safe and whatnot. But I have a feeling that the next time we come together, it will be in a similar fashion in this WebEx environment. But eventually, we'll be in person.
I have another question. So far as the phase two won't start until you're finished the phase one, or will it start in the mix of you doing the phase one?
Yeah, right now we just don't have any plans for phase two, so we just have to wait until we get to that point where we actually start to plan out phase two.
Hello? Okay, thank you. Hello?
Yes,
I
we
have a
can.
question. You can hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I have a question. What if you moved out? I came from out of phase one, and you have your own washer and dryer. Are you required to bring your own washer and dryer, or the units will have a washer and dryer already in there?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, the units do have washers and dryers. Do I have that correct, Stephanie? I believe that's the case.
Yes, they will have a washer and dryer in the unit.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, I guess I have to sell my washer and dryer if I come back, huh? Okay. All right. That was the only question I had. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any additional questions?
No, I don't have any. I don't have any other questions.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Thomas. Any additional questions from any of the other participants?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, I was late coming in, so I ain't gonna start nothing, but I'm gonna try to get a question out still that might have already been answered, but I need to hear it from somebody on y'all end. My question is, what happened to the jobs for the residents for the construction part down here, and how did people that don't live on the property get positions and no tenants got positions other than people that used to live around here or somebody that hang down there that was out there? Do I need to say it again?
This is Chris. I can respond to your question, ma'am. So what's happened so far is demolition and okay. Let me get the thought out, and then obviously you can respond. So part of what we're working on as we speak is to work with the housing authority and our deal partner Warrington Group to bring folks that have lived on site into the fold once construction starts. So there will be plenty of opportunities for folks that are interested to participate on the construction side of things. We're gearing that process up now, working with the housing authority to get our plans finalized as far as being able to let folks know, market to residents and neighborhood members who are interested, to let them know that there will be opportunities. So
that wasn't the question.
Okay.
The question was, how is it that people who used to live on the property years ago get to be working on with the construction site over the tenants? That was my question. How did these people get to be working now with the construction site in top positions over the tenants. That wasn't in our rules. That wasn't in anything in the plans, because I have a copy of it. Nothing that's been said. Where's Warren? Warren's not there. Because Warren answer this question. Because my gut feeling tells me that Warren is behind this. Warren needs to be here.
This is Mr. Q. Mr. Dwayne just left out. He's on the property though. What I can say is it wasn't really part of
That's not the question, and I'm not asking you the question. I need someone with authority like Warren to answer my question. That's not, because it's not in the agreement that we all sat down and made. You know this. So my question is for someone other than you or Mr. Early, with no disrespect to answer. It's more so for Warren or whoever did the hiring of these people. That's who my question is for. Because don't forget, I have a copy of the agreement, and I'm not seeing any of that being done yet. What I see that I don't feel is fair to the tenants so far. And which is giving me some type of future vision that this is how it's going to be when they do start hiring. The tenant's going to be left out, or the last to be informed, notified, or hired. That's where I'm going with this.
Okay.
Warren needs to answer it. So Warren's not there. I apologize. Like I said, I know I'm good at starting stuff. I'm not trying to, but my thing is I have an issue with things not being done properly, fairly, and the tenants being left out.
So, Ms. Herring, I appreciate your comments, and I think you just gave us a good focus for our next meeting to make sure that hiring of the residents and jobs are part of that meeting. So we'll make sure that we cover that and make sure that the residents know, what are the steps so that they can come forth and get some of these jobs that are going to be available. So thank you.
Okay, thank you all for your questions. Joe, I'm going to turn it back to you, Joseph, to close out the meeting, or to see if there are any additional questions for us this afternoon.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Again, I want to say thank everybody for being involved with this meeting. As we move forward, we want to make sure that we are getting all information, all accurate information to all parties involved. All the questions that were mentioned today, I will try to get circulated as soon as possible so we can have this ready for our next meeting or any other discussions that will take place in the future. I guess one more last time, are there any additional questions before we adjourn this meeting? Okay. Well, I'd like to thank everybody again for being in attendance for today's meeting. Everyone have a good afternoon, and most importantly, stay safe.
I have one more question. Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, we hear you.
I have one more question. How do I get the pamphlet for the knowing when the meeting's going to start? This is Mervyn again.
We will be sure to update the, Ms. Johnny Green, if we know of the next date, and then at that moment we'll make sure that all of the dates, times are already issued out to everybody on the property at the same time.
But I don't live on the property no longer.
Oh well, I could take your information if you would like me to take it now, and I can make sure that you receive any future information that we produce.
Yeah. You want email or?
Whatever
my
works
email?
best. Yeah, whatever works best for you.
Well, email be good. It's Jenkins Mervyn. 823. Can you hear me? Jenkins, Jenkins, Mervin, 8 MERVIN 823 at gmail.com.
Okay, Jenkins Mervin 823.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'll make sure that you get all of the information pertaining to Kenilworth courts as we move into the future.
Thank you, sir.
And Joe, just really quickly, like I said, we'll be transcribing the questions and the answers, uploading the video, putting it all on the project website. So if folks who are not able to take part, we'll send out another email and text blast to direct folks back to the site so they can take a look at what was discussed and what was presented today.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Everybody, I hope you all have a great day. And like Joe said, stay safe. Happy holidays, and we'll be in touch shortly.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Same to you.
Take care.
Happy holiday.
Hey, thank you. Thank the lady who opened up a prayer too. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you much.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Get out of this thing.
Leave meeting. It's in red. Tap the string.
Okay. All right, Miss Green. Thanks again, Miss.
All right, Miss Green. All right, Miss. All right, Miss Green.